someone who says they are a qualified electrician and they're coming up to put basic plastic trunking up and they haven't got a clue how to do it. That's a joke.
Coming from that background, you've been qualified, you're getting £20 an hour, you're getting up to £22 an hour, yeah? As a qualified electrician, yeah? That's what they know.
They're not electricians.
I'm not asking you that.
Even then, he said, "Oh, Joe, that's a bit expensive, Delroy." You know, I said, so you think if I'd have stayed another couple of hours trying to find out?
Come and help me do this rewire. Chase. Do that chase there. The chase almost went through the whole... He almost chased into the next people's house next door.
Hello again, Delroy here from Eastway. Welcome to another episode of Van Talk with my sparring P, Marlon. All right, Miles, how's it going, mate?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Yep, everything's cool. So, judging by the last Van Talk, mate, I've got a new name for you. The Voice of Reason. That's one that one of the viewers said, Marlon is the voice of reason.
What did I say?
I'll have to. I haven't got it queued up, but you remember when I said you were getting on my nerves when you said you was trying to explain to me about the customer.
Oh,
right. What the customer thinks.
Right.
Yeah, they were saying
your lack of empathy.
That guy who mentioned it. I'll try and look it up later on. He was well happy with you. Marlon is the voice of reason. He sees things from the customer's perspective or something and explains it eloquently or something like that. Another one said you're a godsend. Marlon said, he said to me, your mate. He said, your mate. He didn't know that you're my son, I don't think. So he goes, your mate Marlon, he's a godsend. And loads of praises. Well, you are a godsend. You're my son, so you are a godsend. but yeah, so that's all good, Marley boy. What I wanted to go over, there's a couple of jobs I went on. I had a couple of fault-finding jobs, right? But what happened was, just before Christmas, this church in Walthamstow phoned me up about what they've got. Their central heating stopped working. They got a central heating guy in, and the central heating guy said to him, get an industrial electrician. You know? So I said, well, I'm an electrician, mate. This is what I don't get. Now, back in the day, he was an electrician. That's it. Nowadays, industrial electrician, domestic electrician. To me, an electrician is an electrician. I've discussed this with Den. So,
and what did Den say?
Den agrees with me. Den agrees with me.
Do you know why Den agrees with you?
In fact, Den was the one who brought it up. He goes, nowadays it's this and no, you're an electrician and that's it.
And then you know why? Because you and Den are studious. So you've studied, even if you haven't worked in the environment, you studied about the environment. At the same time, there are, I don't know how much you would have believed this, but there are electricians, they're labelled electricians, they actually got a gold card, and they prefer to do nothing but metal munching.
What?
Containment.
Right.
Things like that. Stud unistrut, tray basket, and stuff like that. That's what they prefer to do. They don't want to run cables. They just want to put up the containment for the person to come in and run the cables. A lot of electricians are like that, and a lot of electricians in that side say, if you can't do this, then you're not an electrician. So it's like the same.
Nah, listen, mate.
It's like the same kind of mindset.
No,
but from a different angle. They're like, well, if you can't do this, then how can you call yourself an electrician?
No. To me,
I'm just saying this is what
this
is what their thought process is.
To me, that's just mechanical work. That's not.
Yeah, for me, that's like, what's that thing called? Meccano, what's it?
Yeah, that's not electrical work. It's a part of electrical work, but that shouldn't define you as an electrician. No way.
That's how they speak. Way. I'm not saying that it's right.
Well,
I'm saying this is what they say. If you can't do this, then what kind of electrician are you?
Well, they're mechanics, not electricians.
Well, that's an opinion. That's an opinion.
Because I remember I got this guy who came to work with me. This was years back, I think in the 2000s. And he'd come from a building site. And the guy, we was working in Suffolk Council, running trunking and rewiring. He didn't have a clue about rewiring. He didn't know about wiring.
Yeah, I can definitely.
And he couldn't fit the trunk in right, Miles. We was running the trunk in, put one fix in there, one fix in there, one fix in down there, and that was it. In the plastic trunking on the wall.
Sticky back?
Yeah.
But do you know that when you're on big building sites and you're doing that industrial type, and you're putting up trunking,
yeah,
it's metal, usually metal trunking,
yeah,
and tray and stuff. They usually tell you that there's the fixings should be like 700 mil.
Listen, mate.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's where he's coming from.
That's fine. Yeah, but
I'm not saying he's right.
No, but
I'm just telling you that's where he's coming from. That's all I'm saying. That's where
common sense, mate.
There you go with your common sense again.
You're a qualified
This is what I'm trying to say. This common sense thing about you is just not how it is.
No, hold up, wait there. We're talking about two different things. About customers who knows nothing about electrician, which I don't think they should know. You're trying to say I do, I don't. But someone who says they are a qualified electrician and they're coming up to put basic plastic trunking up and they haven't got a clue how to do it. That's a joke.
All right.
If they're an apprentice, no problem.
Let me say something.
Trainee, no problem.
Right.
But a qualified man who comes and wants to be paid this and paid that, and he doesn't know how to run plastic trunking.
So let's say if a qualified man has done all of his apprenticeship and all of his work on major building sites and has never encountered plastic trunking. Never. Not even that, you know, the big plastic trunking was got the separated parts. Not even that.
Yeah.
All they've worked with. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You can't imagine it because that's not where you come from.
No way. You go on.
But when I'm saying imagine it, just let's think about it. Never worked with plastic. Only worked with metal. Mostly done containment. Done very, very, very limited wiring. Maybe not even to the board. Maybe just from one point to another point, or from the points only. And the person that brings it back to the board is someone else. That happens. Coming from that background, you've been qualified. You're getting £20 an hour. You're getting up to £22 an hour. Yeah, as a qualified electrician. Yeah, that's what they know.
They're not electricians.
I'm not asking you that. I'm just telling you that this is what they know. They've gone through their whole apprenticeship, you know, and they've got qualified and they've got a gold card. So to them, they are electricians. That is it.
All right,
now,
mate.
in your opinion, they're not electricians because they don't know how to wire. And this is, I believe you to be right. I'm not questioning what you're saying. I'm just giving you, this is what I'm saying. You can't say it's common sense. I'm giving you the perspective.
No, hold up, wait a second.
I'm giving you the perspective of someone who's never done any house bashing at all. You need to hold on, stop waiting to talk, and let me say what I'm saying. And when I finish what I'm saying, say what you're saying. I'm saying...
All right, yeah, go on.
All I'm trying to say is...
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, let me say what I'm saying.
Yeah, go on.
Stop. What I'm saying is, they've never worked in that environment. Remember that guy? Remember that time when I done the rewire up in Luton? You remember that?
Yeah.
So, this guy who I went to college with, who get qualified with me, who I've seen at work do great work on site, running cables, containment, everything. I asked him, yeah, you know what? You're an electrician. You know what you're doing. Come and help me do this rewire. Chase. Do that chase there. The chase almost went through the whole... He almost chased into the next people's house next door. And you're chasing one box. One double back box. I'm just saying chase that out, so fit a double back box in there. I didn't tell him how to do it. I didn't say, listen, remember, because obviously there's a technique to chasing, right? And you don't want to go too deep because you want it flush, right? My man cut the hole back so deep.
No, hold
Do
up.
you know how much
So-
cement I had to use to fill that
But
packet
hold up,
out?
wait a second.
But I'm trying. What my point is that you can't think that all electricians know everything, and that's what I'm
Wait,
saying.
But mate, listen. This is a grown man. He's supposed to be trained, whatever. You come to a different environment. You've been doing your what you call it, right? Them people, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care what anybody say. If you can only do trunking it, you're not an electrician.
Right. Okay, I agree.
You're a mechanic or whatever. Right. So you're telling me that a man can't use, a grown person can't use common sense, and even so, say to you know what, Del, I haven't done this plastic trunking before. Can you go over it for me? No problem. To me, I'm not going to say, "Are you supposed to know that you're an electrician?" I'm going to say, "Nice one." The geezer's never done it before, and he's asked me, and I'll show him, and I'll say, and let him get on with it. But to just put one fix in there, and then go on like they know what they're doing, that's so annoying. Another thing, I had another geezer come. Told him to put a baton holder up. The geezer up there struggling. Then he said some rubbish. Oh yeah, well, it can't be fixed, whatever. I went up there. The geezer didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, I understand.
I just got rid of him. I said, you know what, mate, thanks, and he was with me.
That's the right thing to do.
And I got rid of him. 'Cause
That's the right thing to do.
He's making excuses about putting a baton holder up.
No, but listen, this is what I'm trying. All right, watch this. All right, so there's a few things here. You understand about pride, right? You understand about prideful people.
Mate, no, I don't understand it because me. Listen, mate.
But you understand that there are things as such. There are
Hold
such
on.
things as prideful
Wait a second,
people.
mate.
You do understand that there are such
Wait
things
a
as
second.
prideful.
No, you ain't
Right.
got. I'm a qualified person. I'm well experienced.
Right.
If I come across something that I don't know, I'm going to admit it straight away.
Right.
Because I want to know.
Okay.
I'm not going to pretend. I've got nothing to prove.
Because you're not prideful. You're not prideful.
It's not a matter of
listen to
pride.
what I'm saying
It's a
to
matter
you.
of learning, willing to learn.
Okay. And I understand that.
All right, look at your brother, right? Your brother, the geezer, is well qualified.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember him saying something to me once. He asked me something. It was something simple. And I goes, "Oh, you don't know that?" And then he come back to me and he said something and made me feel bad, because I did feel bad, because he's humble enough, although with all his education, there was a simple thing that he didn't know. But he admitted straight away. He didn't pretend.
You see, but what I'm trying to say to you is...
No, hold up, what I'm saying, he didn't pretend.
Right.
No ego, because he wants something. I know with him, with all his education, is well qualified. If he doesn't understand something, I don't say, he's not going to pretend. He'll tell you.
But watch this now. That's coming from your loins, right? You can't always compare everybody to you. Some people have that pridefulness about them, and it's not something that they're consciously thinking, but they're coming out of their job thinking, right, I get £20 an hour. I've been getting £20 an hour for the past 5 years. That's what I'm supposed to get. I go and get a job over there, from over there to over there. I'm supposed to get £20 an hour. Okay, they want me to put up this trunking. That's easy. That's simple. One fix in there, one fix in there, one fix in there. That's done. Job done. It's got sticky on the back. Lovely, sweet. Stick that. There. Done. Job done. Now, he's not thinking to himself, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's not thinking that to himself. So he wouldn't come to you and say, I've never done this before. Can you show me something? He's not going to do that because he thinks that he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
That's the prideful side. That's the prideful side. And that's all I'm trying to say.
Well,
and another thing I'm going to say.
Pride. That's not what pride.
But it's
Where's
not.
the pride
You
in that?
can't compare.
That's stupidness. You don't know what you're doing, and rather than ask
He doesn't think that he doesn't know what he's doing.
well,
he thinks he knows what he's doing.
People like that annoying, man. Okay, look, I don't want to
Another thing is, common sense ain't common. You've heard that saying before. Common sense is not common. So when you say it's common sense, not everyone has common sense.
No. Hold up. Wait there. I didn't say it's common sense. I said use common sense. Think about what you're doing, because surely.
And I'm saying,
you know
common sense ain't common.
All right, fair enough. Listen, mate. I don't want to get bogged down. I didn't come here to discuss that, to be honest. We've just gone off on a tangent.
Cool.
But it is an interesting subject because it is.
But everybody's a different
That's
person,
why,
and temperament is different with
mate,
anyone.
That's why I don't employ people, because they just get on my nerves. You know what I mean? I don't. Yeah, because I'm not
Makes sense to
paying
me,
no
but-
idiot big money, and he doesn't even. People don't even know what they're doing. Go you know, come humble yourself, learn. Don't, you know. Anyway, look, that's one. Let's get back to this church.
We could talk about that all night.
Let's get back to this church, right? This central heating system that wasn't working.
They said get an industrial electrician.
Yeah, that's it. That's where it come from, innit? And that's we went off. So I turned up and
Sorry, go on.
yeah, I turned up. I went into this switch room, and there's this great big panel. Well, not great. Yeah, it's a big panel, and it's a system. And you've got 2 pumps that does the central heating. So when I went there, the panel was dead as a dodo. So, and there's a little spur underneath that control this big panel. So with the flex coming out. So I opened up the panel, and there's all contactors in there. Do you know anything about contactors?
Not much.
Right. You know what, Miles? I know a bit about contactors, but I don't remember because it's not something. If you don't do something
you come
all the
across
time,
every day.
No. It was years ago. I learned about contactors. It's some are 240 volts, some are 415, and all them sort of thing. So anyway, when I opened up, I saw some fuses in there. So I said, oh, let me just check generally. Got out my voltage tester, checked one fuse. The first fuse I took out was blown. And there was loads of fuse in the drawer, inside the unit, loads of spare fuse. So I put a new one in, put it in. Take out all the rest of them, checked them, they're all fine. So I shut the door, turned it back on. And then it comes on, and I hear this noise, really loud chattering noise, really loud. Shut the...
Oh, so you changed your fuse?
I changed the one that was 40, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that right? That sounds. So I opened it again, and then I turned it on with the door open, and you could see this contactor chattering, really. So I said, obviously something's wrong there. So it was an IMO contactor. So I phoned up IMO, and lucky enough, this guy called Stuart, who is one of their technical blokes, he really spent a lot of time on. First of all, actually, I phoned up the company. The panel had a book, manual in there. So the name, phoned up the company who put the panel in. Spoke to this lady and told her the details. She looked up. There was a number to tell you the job. And she looked it up. She couldn't find it. I said, could I speak to one of your technical people?
A number when you say a number to tell you your job, you mean a number to tell you about, like, this is that building?
Yeah, you know, when you open the door, there's at the top there's a label with that company's name on it, and it's
got like its own little reference number.
Yeah, that's.
I get you.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
I get you.
So I gave her that. Anyway, the technical people weren't available, so she took my name and she was going to get them to phone me back.
Right.
Then after that, I thought, IMO, let me phone up IMO, see what they know. Funny enough, spoke to this guy. This guy was brilliant, Miles. He was brilliant because he doesn't know about the panel, but he knows about the contactor and how it works. And he was telling me to do this, do that, disconnect that, disconnect. I was there for ages, Miles, with him on the phone. Really grateful for this guy. Was really brilliant. And what we found out, he told me the contactor to get, and that there's 2 bits. So I had to. So that was the first day. Found out I had to get the contactor. Went up see Edmondson's up Enfield. Collected the contactor the next morning, come back down, phoned him up. He told me I just copied what was there. It was the same, just copied the connections. Yeah?
Yeah.
Took out the old one,
Yeah, I get
take
you,
off this wire, put it in, take off this wire, put it in. Right, refitted it, and I had to trace it to the switch on the door or whatever. Anyway, put it in, click, you hear it clocking nicely. And one of the pumps came on. Right? So one of the pumps came on.
Right.
But that pump wasn't the one that controlled it. So what happened was I switched it to the other pump. And then...
Oh, you can switch it. You can switch
when the door's shut, you see this switch. Pump 1, pump 2.
Right.
So I switched it to the other pump, And then when I switched it back to the pump that was working, this contactor wouldn't go in. So I thought to myself, I said, we traced it to the switch, say it must be the switch. So you have to get a new switch. So he told me the part. I had to go down to RS Electrical down.
Yeah, I know RS. I've heard the RS.
Down. They used to have one near me.
Yeah, I remember, that's why I said I remember.
But this one's down near Millwall football ground.
Right.
At the back there. So I had to go down there, collect that, come back to fit it. But when I went back I connected it, but I couldn't fit it to the door, Marlon. I just couldn't do it. I don't know, I couldn't do it. Anyway, what I found out, it clocked. Because there was no power again. And that same fuse is blown. Again. But what I sussed out, Miles, it's another contactor. When I switched it to pump 2, it blew the fuse.
Yes.
But I didn't realise, because I didn't hear a bang or anything. I thought it was the switch. So it wasn't the switch.
It was actually the fuse.
And so this was coming up. I had to go there after Christmas now.
Right.
To try and do something. But I couldn't do it. And that Stuart bloke, he couldn't really help me because he'd done all he could.
Yeah.
And you can't expect...
It's limited over the phone what you can actually do.
Can't expect the man to waste all the time on the phone. He was really good.
I mean, to be fair, that's his job.
No, not really. That's not his job. He's there to give you technical advice,
okay.
Not to stay...
But he went above and beyond a bit with the information.
Went above and beyond.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I couldn't do it. So what I done in the end... Oh, yeah, sorry. Before all that, the technical bloke from the company who fitted it...
Yeah, the one who said they were going to phone you back.
Yeah, he got back to me.
Right.
Because I was having problems, Miles. After I come off the phone with Stuart, I was having problems getting the bottom of the contactor out.
Right.
And he was this new guy from the company. He had to direct me how to get it out. I was struggling, but in the end, it was simple. It was a little clip underneath.
If you don't know, you don't know.
If you don't know, you don't know. And I done it, and he's oh, nice man. And then they were both brilliant blokes, especially the guy Stuart from IMO. He was really good. If he ever sees this, respect to him. But that guy from the new company now, he helped me get it out. That's how I could go and get the
new one.
Because I couldn't get a part of it out. So so after I went back there after Christmas, realised what had happened with the fuse, I said, well, there's nothing more I can do. Because to be honest, Miles, from when I went there the first day, I said to the guy, it's not me. What I'll do, I'll take the thing and I'll see if I can get the company to come in. Because they haven't got a clue, the people from the church.
Of course.
So I take over and say, I'll phone up the company, see if we can get someone to have a look at it. But when I went, that was the very first day. I'm going back a bit now, sorry.
Because it sounds like it's something that's not specifically... I mean, an electrician can fit it, but
you have to know what you're doing.
They probably sent someone who is an electrician that knows about that.
And that's what they do all the time.
That's what they do. They go around fitting those.
So, because when I phoned up the company, the reason I should have said this before. The reason why I ended up trying to do it was the first day when I went there, saw the system situation, looked at it, fitted the thing. I thought to myself, well, I'll get the company to come and do it. When I phoned them, it was before Christmas and they couldn't come till the new year. So I thought, these people want to use their church's code. I'll see if I can do it. Mm-hmm. And that's how I got involved. Because I thought that chattering contactor, surely I can change that, just copy that. And I was able to change it, no problem. Right, but it was more than that.
Right.
That stopped chattering, but the other one's got a fault on it because it's blowing.
Right.
So that's why in the new year, I phoned up that original company and
to them to come down.
Yeah.
Right.
They're coming down on the 18th.
Right.
Today's the 13th.
Right.
They're coming down next week.
Right.
So I'm going to go and meet them up there and their engineer can do their thing. Because one of the main problems as well, I took that switch off the door, got the new one, but I couldn't. Because what it is, Miles, the back part where you connect the cables to, you put that to the hole and then you push the other part in from the door. So there's a hole, 20 mil hole, like, so it fits in there. But then there's a stem that pushes into the inside part, and then you're supposed to lock it.
Right.
But I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. So I said,
So they're coming on the 18th, and you're going to go meet them.
Yeah.
Do you need to do that? Do you need to be there as well?
Yeah, I got to be there to explain what's happened, what I've done, and do that. Yeah, I can't just go there, just leave them to do it.
Why not?
No. I think it's
No, why not? I'm just saying, why not?
no, because I think it's the best thing. I've been there. I've been working on it. I can go there, make it might be easier for the guy. Say, look, this is what was happening. This is what I've done. Yeah, like I was saying, they're coming in January.
And you're gonna go there,
Yeah.
show them what. Okay, cool.
No, I just think it's best because I've started the job. If I go there to him, explain exactly what I've done, then he can take over and he's got all that information, rather than just him going there and not knowing what's happened before. Yeah, so we'll see the outcome of that, right? And do you remember you know that industrial estate across the road from me?
Yeah.
You came to that job when it's an industrial unit?
Yeah.
You come there with me, didn't you?
Oh.
That old guy. Yeah. I had to go back there to do some fault finding,
Right.
which is not surprising. Something was tripping. One of the LCDs was tripping. And what it turned out to be. Because now, Miles, that place he used to make plastic signs or something. But now he's rented it out to different people. Like upstairs, you've got a tailor. I think that tailor, he does work for people for people in Savile Row. He does. It's quite interesting, that guy. Nice guy. He's been there for years. And
Nene works for a company that's down Savile Row, isn't it?
Who?
Nene.
Oh, does she?
Yeah. Your favourite granddaughter.
I texted her last night. She hasn't come back to me.
She works for a company that is based in Savile Row.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah.
But
So
the industrial estate. Went there to do some fault
yeah, and
finding.
downstairs now, it's the person who controls downstairs. I think it's costumes for the film company.
Okay.
So there's loads of clothes down there, loads of and things in your way, and you know the rails that you put the clothes on and all that in your way. So it was a bit much. Well, right. Anyway, yeah, it was a fault. It was a fault where on the ring circuit, but something was spurred from the ring circuit. And that was what was causing I traced it to a point where there was a spur. You had the ring, then something spurred away, and that was what's causing the problem. Because some of the guys was making, why didn't I solve that fault? But
Sorry?
why didn't I find out? Like I found what I found this point, the spur was causing it. So I took the spur out of the equation and got the ring working.
Right.
Right, and there was comments in the comment section saying
Of what comment section?
the van talk comment section, because the video, because that video's gone out,
Right.
and people were saying, a couple of people were saying, why didn't I find that fault? But what they don't understand, Miles, is when you go out on these jobs, these people don't really want to pay that much. So once you find the fault and the rest of their sockets working,
That's what they want.
They don't care.
Yeah, that's what they want. That's what they want. You're
Right.
giving them what they want.
Yeah.
For you to go and do more, it's going to cost them more.
Yeah.
And then they could turn around and say, well, I didn't ask for that.
But the thing about it is, Miles, what I usually say to those people, right? So I usually ask if they want me to look at it, but the guy wasn't there.
Yeah.
It's somebody that I worked for before, so I know him. Else I wouldn't have done the job if he wasn't there.
Right.
But I know the guy. You know him. Martin Scorsese, he knows him. So, yeah. So that's why I continued. But even then, he said, "Oh, Joe, that was a bit expensive, Delroy." I said, so you think if I'd have stayed another couple of hours trying to find out, because in that place, it could have been linked to anything.
Exactly.
But once their thing ain't tripping,
that's what they want.
they're happy, and that was it, yeah. So that was that job. Right, so the next things, man, this is quite interesting. I went to a job out in Essex, like Only Way is Essex. In fact, isn't that filmed out in Brentwood?
You know more than me.
No, I
watch
don't
that
know.
stuff.
I never watched that stuff,
watched
mate.
that stuff,
but I
man.
hear about it all
Come
the
on.
time. But yeah, it was somewhere in Brentwood. And this was a funny one, Miles. The guy said, because what it is, he's coming from near Scotland, near Newcastle, moving down to London. So they bought this house, but they haven't moved down completely yet. They just, I think he phoned me and he was only staying there a couple of days before he goes back. They're going to be moving down permanently shortly. But something happened and tripped his RCD, tripped the RCD, and some of his sockets weren't working. He then managed to go around and get most of them working, but as usual, where wasn't working?
In the kitchen?
Yes, kitchen again. So when I got there, switched it on, it didn't trip. So I said, were you doing anything thing? He goes, no, I was plugged it in, but it was raining and wind blowing. Do you think that? I said, nah, that ain't gonna cause. That's nothing to do with it, mate. Nothing to do with it.
Oh,
so no, this guy.
He's trying, isn't it?
No, this guy was nice. He was a nice customer, and
those thing kind of make me laugh.
No, he was a nice bloke. He was.
What makes me laugh is when people try and diagnose electrical issues.
No, he wasn't like that. He wasn't.
No, it's cool. I'm not saying he was. I'm just saying in general.
No, he was.
That kind of makes me laugh when people start diagnosing and stuff.
I've come across people who think that outside influence is like, oh, it was raining heavy. Oh, yeah, the wind was blowing. I was like, I've had that before. They think because it happened when that started. Right. So it's just, they don't know. So anyway, and he was funny because he is it a Scottish thing where people say, yes, boss? Yes, boss. He uses that phrase a lot.
I don't know. I don't think it's Scottish.
And he says, boss, did you see that? Hey, boss. He uses that a lot. Nice guy, actually. So anyway.
Maybe he just didn't remember your name.
No, I just think that.
I don't think it's a Scottish thing to be.
Hey, talk about not remember. Sorry about this. But talk about someone who doesn't remember people's names. Do you ever heard of Cox and Dodd? Not Coxon over here. Cox and Dodd, the record producer, Studio One. You ever heard of Studio One?
Yeah, I heard of Studio One. Well, I haven't heard of Coxon Dodd.
Yeah, he's the original Coxon.
Okay.
And he calls everybody Jackson.
Okay.
So he doesn't have to, everybody.
Right.
Jackson, hey Jackson. Because he doesn't have to.
So you have to remember no one's name.
No. Everybody he calls Jackson.
Yeah.
Right, sorry, that's a little bit of trivia there, sorry. But anyway, so he switched it on and it wasn't tripping. Because when I went there, he had a lead from in the hallway going into the kitchen to get power, to keep his fridge on.
Right.
So after that, took out the lead, he switched it on, it wasn't working. It was working fine, nothing. So I thought to myself, I don't want to leave here, drive up the road, and he phones me up, say, oh, it's just tripped again. So what I'll do a test on the circuit. You go like that, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's connected that way, it's connected here.
Yeah.
If I disconnect that, it's just one long thing.
I'm with you.
You understand?
I'm with you, right.
Do you understand that?
Yep.
Yeah?
Okay.
It's just one long thing. So if I test this end, it should still be the same because it's just that the ends aren't connected.
Right.
So they should still test the same.
Yeah.
But I'm getting a different reading on that one and a different reading on that one.
Right.
So somewhere, right, there's a joint somewhere, that's a problem.
Right.
You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want me to go a bit further into it? Because the thing is, I could reconnect it and it probably be okay.
Oh, right, okay.
Or if I go through the circuit, I may find that what's causing that.
Well, if I was to load it up, is it going to keep on blowing on?
Well, this is what I'm saying. Going by the regulations and the readings, it should work.
Yeah.
It should work fine. But
yeah, go on, boss. Have a check through it.
Yeah.
Rummage through it.
okay. So I've done insulation resistance tests, and oh gosh, I can't remember. There was a fault. There was a
on the insulation resistance.
Yeah, there was a fault. Yeah, definitely.
Not a dead short though.
No. You know, I can't remember the readings, but it's
like not clear.
No, it's not clear. There was a fault that enough for me to want to look into it.
Right.
So
less than a mega ohm.
You know what, Mars? I can't remember.
No,
I don't think it was less than a mega ohm.
But it was close enough to a mega ohm for you to be like.
Not really. Because it was a fault that I thought, let me look into this.
Right.
So anyway, I looked into it and I found it wasn't wired. The ring wasn't wired properly.
Polarity.
It wasn't wired properly.
Not polarity.
Because for instance, Miles, you got the kitchen, and then off the kitchen you got a dining room extension type of thing, solid floor underneath, and then you got a socket there, and with that socket's got one cable, that socket's got one cable. Right, you see, something's wrong somewhere, because what you should have is 2 cables at each point.
Yeah.
Or if this was done properly, somewhere here you'd have 2 or 3 cables here, 1 there. That's fine.
Right.
Unless they've spurred this from one point and spurred that from another point. But I doubt it. I think they've probably done some sort of connection somewhere that can't be found.
Right.
That's what I think.
Right.
That's what I think. I think there's a connection somewhere that's hidden.
Right, okay.
And that's probably the cause of that bad reading.
Right, okay.
You know?
Right.
So they're spare enough or something.
So it is a link somewhere.
Yeah.
So I think
Could have been one of those, little junction boxes in the ground and
no. What I'm thinking
Come
is,
up,
mate,
like
I'm
that.
thinking they've done a joint and plastered it over.
that joint.
yeah,
Know,
right.
we've come across the maddest joints, man. I can't listen. Working with you, yeah. The joints that we've come across is crazy. And then even in that house, anyway, go on, carry on.
Yeah. So anyway,
Joints that we've come across.
looking
is crazy.
further into the circuit, because you had in the kitchen you had a socket on this the surface going along, then you had a socket on this side, socket on that side, and they spurred from that socket down to another double socket underneath for a fridge where they plug the fridge in, and then they spurred from the socket over there down to another socket underneath the sink where they plug the washing machine in. Right?
And all these sockets were available for you to do tests on.
These two.
So what about the other ones? How did you know about them?
Well, I could tell. I looked at it, and you could see it's only one cable going in.
Right.
Right, it was surface mounted underneath. You could see one cable.
Surface mounting as well.
Underneath.
Yeah.
So these ones on top were flush.
Mm-hmm.
So you could actually, this one of them, Marlon, the box was so far in the wall you had to use 3-inch screws to screw it in. Right. Right. Okay. Now. Oh my gosh! There you go. Yeah, it's not a very good installation. The boxes are way back there. The box is way back there. Okay. They're spurred from this point. I don't know. So, and then what you had, Miles, you had the 2 original cables coming into the box, which was deep in the wall. And then the one that they brought down to the washing machine is just coming up the wall. It's not in the box. It's just, anyway. And the screw was cross-threaded because they put the tile on, Miles, but I can tell by looking at it, the tile is a little bit too much over. So you're screwing it like
Angled, yeah.
'Cause I thought it needed tapping out, so I put my long tap in there and tapped it out.
Yeah.
But then when I saw it, I said, you know what? I think that's not the problem. It's because they should have chipped a little bit of that tile out. So anyway, I screwed it back. New screw, screwed it back.
Like at the job I was just at. That's what they would do. That's what they were doing. Tilers come in and tile. Electricians go back to screw back their things. If there's a little bit of an angle, they got to chip that. Got to cut it and so they have to come back. The tilers have to come back and chip it away. Whatever.
So, but the depth of this box ridiculous. Anyway, so right. So I said I traced to where the fault was. I traced to where that
socket underneath was?
No, the insulation resistance was. It was what I said to him. What I can do, I can split it, and you know the usual thing. What I done, I split it. Yeah, disconnected one of the socket on the server.
So one socket might not be working, but those who work to there, those who work to there.
Yeah. So I found the side that was working, and luckily enough, it was the one above and the one underneath for the fridge. So he could do away with that lead and plug his fridge in. So I said, well, look, mate, look, what I can do, I can leave it like that so that, but only that socket and the one underneath and your fridge will be fine. But the rest of them won't be working, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and one in the garage, 5. They wouldn't be working. So, or I can reconnect it and it may not trip. It may not trip or it may trip, I don't know. Right?
Sound like the regs.
Because the thing the thing is, the level of insulation resistance, it was low, but it was above the required amount. The 1 mega, well above that anyway. So I said, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to leave it and it probably won't trip, but just with this socket, or do you want me to reconnect it? And he said, well, I think his son was going to go there and he will want to use them sockets. So he said, we'll take the chance, put it back the way it was. So I put it back the way it was. But it's not until I put it back the way it was, something happened, I can't remember what happened, but made me test the ends because I never done that. I wasn't doing a full test on I was just trying to find where this led. But when I tested, neutral was a ring, earth was a ring, phase wasn't a ring. It was open circuit. So something is wrong somewhere. Yeah? Right. I didn't find that out till the end. Yeah. And you should see the way they run the thing, the cables down in that thing. But what he said also is don't matter about doing all that because he's getting the place rewired anyway. Oh. He's doing the major building works and he wants it rewired. So he may get back to me about doing the rewiring. Okay. So that was that job. So
did you end up putting it back together, or did
I put it back together and left it as I found it. Mm-hmm. And because he said, he
said take that risk. And then when you heard he's gonna do a rewiring, it's like, you know what?
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, he's not worried.
It's getting rewired anyway.
Yeah. So that was fine. Then,
as long as it's safe.
Yeah. So then a couple of days ago, I went on another job, right? And this was just up Stoke, near Acme, just in Acme there, and. What it was, Miles, it's a masonette and mantel unit, but they fitted a new fuse. They fitted a fuse rather than put the skeleton in there. They fitted a fuse board in the mantel unit, and it's one that I've never. Again, another mate that I've never seen before. Never. I forgot. It's N something. It's got some initials on it, but I've never seen it before. So when I went there again, they said, well, this time. There was trunking on the wall, and the geezer who lives there, he's took the trunking out and chopped the cables into the wall. So what happened?
So, I've put this run of plugs here.
Oh yeah.
There into the wall.
So right. So they're all surfaced, yeah.
Previously, it was trunking all along here.
Okay.
You can see it in all the other rooms.
Yeah.
Exactly how it was.
Right. You've done a nice job, it looks like.
Oh, thanks.
No,
well, I did until I drilled into the wall.
From what I can see, it looks like a nice job.
So, and then put all the sockets into the wall. They were on mounted boxes.
Yeah.
The only one that I've left out was this one because it's on a single grease block wall.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And then I've gone and just when reattaching the pipes, changed the brackets.
Oh, right. You done the pipes as well?
I didn't do the pipes as well. They were already here.
But you took them off?
I took them off, cleaned them all up.
Oh.
Changed the brackets.
Okay.
And then put them back on.
Yeah.
And then, in a moment of lunacy, drilled through. So I don't know where the issue is.
Fitted new boxes as well because the boxes were surface.
He's got someone to do that.
No, he done it himself. 2 of them. 2. No, 1, 2. I think 3 boxes.
Was he like a handyman?
No, I don't know what he is. He owns the place. He just decided to. And when I went there, Miles, him and his wife was there doing decorating. They got their platform steps. You know those steps that come and run along. It's like a platform. The guy's got his drills. He's got his drills.
He's a bit of a handyman.
He's got his bench thing.
He's a bit of a I can do it.
Marlon, you see all the back boxes, back pendants. It's like, he's just got it all there. Yeah, like I was saying, Miles, the guy, he'd put the cable in the wall himself.
Right.
And sunk the boxes in, because like I tell you, he's got everything there. So what he said that they were using he thinks he's gone through the cable with a screw, because what they had these central heating pipes running along the wall, and the brackets that hold them on the wall, he took them off so he could put the cable in and chase the cable in and everything, and then he screwed them all back. And he thought he'd gone through one of those. So yeah, he thought he'd gone through one of the cables
That he just dressed in.
that he just dressed in. Yeah. So he said they were using the Hoover vacuum cleaner, and the thing tripped, and that was it.
Yeah.
But he was convinced he'd gone through everything. So
yeah.
I said, okay, then let's switch it on. I switched it on. I said, put the Hoover in. He put the Hoover in, running. It was running for quite a while, 15, 20 minutes. So I said, well, it's not tripping now. But again, I thought, I don't want to leave it. And then they called me back saying it's tripped. So I said, I'll do some tests.
The little IR.
Yeah. So, and this time it was wide as a ring circuit. And so I done,
The IR.
no, not really. Did I do yeah, insulation resistance test. That was the main one. So, between live and neutral, it was near the 9.
It was enough.
Yeah, it was more
than enough.
Yeah. Between
You said that was the phases? Or
phase and neutral.
Okay, phase and neutral.
Yeah. And then
Fine.
between neutral and earth, enough. Between one red, because I've done them separately. Between one red and earth, fine. Between the other red and earth, I got 8 point something megohms. There might be a problem here with live to earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's above the required reading, but that might be what's causing the intermittent tripping. So I thought, oh, that's a problem, right? I think that could be what's causing it. So the usual process of elimination, and I found the leg that was dodgy. And when I looked at it, where he's put the box in around the cable, and where he screwed the pipe directly in line with the cable coming up. Yeah, because you can see the cable's coming up,
Yeah.
and that's directly in line with the cable. You may have just nicked it.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't do enough for it to bang. You've just nicked it, and just between the earth and the live. That's your problem, right? But then when I took the screw off, the screw wasn't that long. Yeah, so I found the leg. Got it. So disconnected that leg. Tested both of them together, and it was fine. It was 999, no problem. So I thought to myself, well, that's it. I've solved the problem. You know, I think that's what's causing it. So I reconnected it. But because the thing about it is, I was thinking, you know what, Miles? When you have a few weeks off work,
Right.
when you go back to work, it takes you a bit of time to get back. You know, it's so funny, right? Yeah, it all tested out fine. And what it was, Miles, it was a ring, but it was protected by a 25 amp MCB. Right? You never come across that, have you? 25 amp.
Never come across 25 amp.
No, and the thing of, man, this fuse board I'd never seen before. Anyway, so what you got now is 2 radials, basically.
Okay.
Right.
Come on the same fuse.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not
saying if it's fine. I'm just saying.
There was
I'm just trying to make myself understand.
There was a
what you're saying.
spare way there, right? But I was, for some reason, my mind was working the wrong way. I think, oh, you can't. Anyway, whatever. I left it on the one way where it's protected by the 25 amp fuse.
Okay.
25 amp MCB. That's fine. It should be okay. If it was on the 32 amp, I would have reduced it. But 25, because I think 2.5 can take up to 27 amps. It's 25 amps. It should be fine. So sorted that out and left it.
Thought,
Things
yep,
fine.
job's done.
But
Cool.
then, after I do things, it was going round in my mind about it. So I made some inquiries, and then what I found out was that I think I've solved the problem by taking that faulty leg out. But I didn't know this, but I found out. For a RCD to have intermittent tripping based on insulation resistance, the insulation resistance would have to be as low as 766.
Yeah, 7 under 8 megohms.
No, under 1 megohm. Listen,
Under what? So
Yeah.
point.
no. For instance,
Ohms, you mean?
No, what it is basically is Ohm's law. You got 30 milliamp RCD, yeah?
Yep.
Divide amperage. I divide by voltage.
Yeah.
Yeah, gives you
Resistance.
gives you the resistance. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you so you got 230 divided by 0.03, right? Gives you that number there. 7666.6 recurring. Yeah? That's it would have to be below
that
to nuisance trip an RCD. So that's
And that's ohms. That's not mega ohms.
no,
That's just ohms.
this is 7,666 ohms. And I'm actually measuring 1,000,000 ohms. 1 mega ohm is 1,000,000 ohms.
Yeah.
Right? So it's way above that level. So it shouldn't be
yeah.
it shouldn't be the nuisance tripping. But Marlon, this is what I'm thinking, yeah? Technically, that reading of 8 point something is fine. Yeah? When you go by rules and regulations and technical stuff, that's fine.
Yeah.
However, there are certain circumstances when I'm sure that although it works out technically, it's still causing the fault. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Because it's low. Because what I'm thinking is, if it was an MCB or a rewirable fuse or a cartridge fuse, you wouldn't have a problem.
Yeah.
But because it's an RCD, that fault,
Will come and trip it.
yeah, every now and then, not constantly maybe,
Yeah.
every now and then. So I think taking that dodgy leg out of the situation has cured it, I think.
But it can still go on that one MCB.
Yeah,
It can still be on that one MCB.
Yeah.
2 circuits
Yeah.
can be on that one
Yeah.
MCB.
Ideally, maybe I should have put it up because you're in this board. You only had one extra way,
Yeah.
right? And for some reason, I said, "Oh, I can't do it because there's only one extra way." But I could have. This is what I'm saying. But I was coming back from holiday.
Yeah.
The old mind's still fogged up.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it after. I was thinking, "Oh bloody hell."
could
There
have
was
done
an extra way. I could have done it. But then I'd have to go away and get that MCB. And that is a make that I don't even know what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's fine. That was fine. Because it's 25 amp. Should be fine.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, this is what I was pondering. I was thinking to myself, after I found this out, I'm thinking, maybe I shouldn't have disconnected that leg. But it is a dodgy leg. It's a damaged leg, isn't it?
That's what you found.
So I think I've done the right thing.
That's what you found.
And
That's what you
hopefully
found.
it won't trip. I think that will be causing the tripping.
I heard that.
Even though, technically, when you work it out, it shouldn't. But like I'm saying, in the real world,
Got other variables.
yes, thank you very much. Like Sir P says, you have to get the variables.
Variables. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't control the variables.
Yeah, you can't
the
control
police
them.
can't control the variables. Yeah. So, yeah, that was So I left that all working. They were happy with it. But like I say, because sometimes I overthink things, I was thinking about it. But I'm glad I did, because I learned this thing about the calculating the resistance. Yeah, it's all good. Okay, Miles, you're finishing up. Have you ever seen one of these things?
No.
This is what you call a fuse finder. Because, for instance, say, you know, you go somewhere, you're working in a block of flats.
Or office.
Yeah, well, let's say block of flats, because that's where I use this.
Okay.
Yeah, and you want to kill the fuse board by taking out the main fuse. The main fuse is in the switch room, downstairs or whatever. What you're supposed to do, this here, I've had this for years. I've only used it once, because I was working in a block of flats and I needed to pull the main fuse. And you don't want to be just pulling fuses.
Yeah, trial and error.
Yeah, and killing people's power.
Yeah.
You know, they come home.
Oh, it's not that one. Oh, it's not that one.
Because what they say is worst case scenario, there might be someone at home on a life support something or something like that. You know, something serious that you don't want to lose power to. Right. But anyway, you know, those sort of things, I was thinking when someone told me this, I thought, well, hold up, those sort of things usually have some sort of backup.
That's true. But
So if you pull the fuse, it's
true.
not just going to dead
That's true.
straight away.
You don't have to employ the backup, do you?
Yeah. Well, anyway, look. So this, what you do, you plug this into a socket in the flat, and you switch it. You see there, it's got what's it say there?
Got breakout find.
That's it. So if you're
Socket test.
yes, you might be trying to find
Breaker find.
yeah.
You're trying to find the breaker.
Yeah. Or if you want to test the socket,
Yeah.
because you can use this
As a tester,
as a socket and see, as they say. So anyway, you switch it that way. That's a breaker find, yeah. Stick it into the socket, and you go down to the fuse, and then you switch this on find, and when you put it to the fuse that's doing this, it makes a sound, or I think it lights up here. So that's it there.
The only thing
that's a
that I've
good thing.
used that's similar to that
Yeah.
is a circuit finder. So obviously, where you go to the board, and it's like before, even if it's connected, whatever, you can put these two prongs on the like you take the cables out, put these prongs on the cables. Say it's a radio. You put the prongs on the live and the neutral. I don't know if it's on the earth as well, but I know you definitely put it on the live and neutral.
Yeah.
And then you've got some device that's on that, and then you take something like this now,
Like this,
and
yeah.
you go along the wall, and you can chase where the actual cable is going.
Oh, no,
the
I've
route
never-
of the cable,
No, I've
and
never
the
seen-
floor and stuff like that.
No, I've never heard
I've seen
of
one
that.
of those, but I haven't seen that
Never,
before.
no. Yeah, no, but yeah, I bought because I didn't want to be trial and error I just went down the wholesalers and bought one of these. Because the thing is, though, Miles, this make, I don't usually like buy makes that I don't know. I would have gone for because later on I saw this in a make that I prefer.
Right.
That don't mean this is no good.
Yeah.
It's just me, you know. I stick to certain makes.
things that
I
you know.
don't change to new stuff until if I find that
Yeah,
it's
you're not
really-
like, oh, that's cheaper, so let me get that.
Yeah, I don't know
You
if
always
this,
go with your brands that you know.
I don't know if this is cheaper or not.
I'm
but
just saying.
This is what and what's that? TIS, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never heard of this, mate. But like, I've had this now. How long ago did I work down Brixton, Miles? It's a long time. It's about
14, 15?
no.
was it before that?
You know that Brixton estate that I used to work. You know that estate.
Oh, yeah,
That's about 7 years ago, wasn't it?
yeah.
I bought this about 10 years ago, I think.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I think about 10 years ago. Or 7. Yeah, no, hold up. It's about 7. Doesn't matter, but it's a good while ago. Yeah, and like I said, I've only used it once. All right. And funny enough, when I think Martin Scorsese, he had something to do there. I think I don't know if it was. I think it's the power people, the LEB people, sent someone round. To change his meter. And the guy couldn't tell which fuse it was, because if it's labelled, then it's lovely, isn't it? But it wasn't labelled. So I thought, hold up, he should have one of these, surely.
Why do you think? Why?
Because-
why should he have one of those?
Because if that's his job, going around changing meters, even he must come across situations where things aren't labelled properly.
I'm just saying.
So you go out and buy one of these.
I'll say this. Not everyone is as diligent as your good self. That's all. And I will say no more. You can say what you want, have your opinions on my statement, but I'm just going to say that and I'm going to leave it there.
But Miles, this is how you build up stuff. You go to a job, you need to do a job, you haven't got the tool, you go and buy the tool. Next time, you've got it. And that's how you build up. But I can't understand. What I'm saying is, someone, because I was annoyed at the time because he couldn't.
I know you're there because you expect everyone to be at your standards.
No,
people, not everybody has the same standard as you.
Wait, I was being.
1 second, watch this. What if he doesn't know about that? What if he doesn't even know that exists? Then he's rubbish, isn't he?
No,
Well, that's it. Maybe he doesn't even know it exists.
No, don't get it wrong. I don't call people rubbish for not knowing stuff.
Maybe he doesn't know it exists.
Right, no, but I would have thought if he does that, if that's his job doing that a lot, surely.
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe one, it's not his job doing it a lot. Maybe. And maybe two, he doesn't even know what that device is. He's never heard of that device.
No, I just thought
maybe it's just like this. It's just that some people aren't as thorough as you. Remember, I said to you, I said that what I was just describing to you about the other device that I've seen that's slightly like that. If I didn't see him with that,
I've never seen it.
if I didn't see him with that, I wouldn't think to go and seek for that. I wouldn't go and think. I wouldn't think to myself, I need to go and find a device that can trace the cables when I can't find them.
Why did he need to chase those cables? Trace those cables. The route of the cable. Why did he need to do that?
He
Because I can't think of when I would need
why
to know
he
it.
needed to, but there was a reason. He had a reason.
Yeah, he must have had, but I just wondered why.
But
Because
to be fair, it was part of his test kit.
Because if I just,
It was all part of his test kit, and he had a tester that I'd never heard of before, the make. And I was like, oh yeah, my dad would never.
but funny enough, Miles, the gas person, when they came to my house to do they had to do something with my boiler, but they had to do some sort of check on the electric. And he come out with this device once. And I thought, bloody hell, what's that? And I took a picture of it because I was going to get one.
Yeah.
I never did get it.
That's what I'm saying.
I liked it. I thought,
Because I'm from your school, I'm the same. If I see something and I think, wow, what's that? I will take a picture of it and then go and research
you know who's
it.
like that? You know who's like that?
Den.
Exactly. If Den sees me with something that he's never seen before, that's it. Picture gone. Next time he's got it.
Yeah.
Den's got everything, mate. Yeah. So anyway, I just thought I'd show that to you. Okay, mate.
More. I might actually go and buy one now.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for
have it.
Thanks for doing this, mate.
What,
And
in the other make as well, the one that you said that you more go to. You're more go to.
Oh yeah, I can't remember
make.
what. Yeah, they do that in a more popular make, but that's fine. That's fine. It's not something.
What's it called?
What?
What's it called?
Fuse finder.
It's just called a fuse
I
finder.
think so. What's the name of it? What's it say?
It's just something else. Don't say fuse finder. Or does it say fuse finder?
Circuit breaker finder. Circuit breaker finder.
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
circuit breaker finder.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then it says receiver down there. That's what I was looking at. But okay, circuit breaker finder.
Yeah. Well, this is the
Definitely.
receiver.
This is the receiver.
Yeah. That's the what you call it, the base, and that's the base there, and that's the receiver, I think. Yeah. So anyway,
Cool.
thanks for doing this, and thanks for watching. See you next time. You can get us on Google something and. Oh, Martin's going to say.
You been practicing that one, haven't you? You can get a Google something, Apple something.
Yeah.
Just get us
You
a
can
Google
get us on
Play or
Google and Apple.
Podcast.
I've lost a bit of paper.
I love that. I
He'll
love
do
that.
me in, mate. You know what he's like.
Yeah, he's gonna get up to you. He's gonna get up to you.
All right, Mars. See you next time, mate.
All right.
Thanks for watching.